Alright guys, old school is back again. Hey, this past weekend we celebrated our 250th Army birthday. And old school, believe it or not, I was drafted in 1972, from 72 to 1995. I watched the military parade, at least segments of it. I couldn't stomach watching that whole thing. I was appalled. And I saw a lot of comments where people were chastising the troops for not marching. And part of my time in the military, at least my latter 10 years, I served as an instructor, doing all the different courses from PLDC to SNOC, which is a senior non-commissioned officers course. Military troops, first thing, they're trained to march. They're trained to march to cadence. I remember doing a lot of that as far as pushing my troops when they came through our courses to refresh a lot of things that they needed to know. But when I watched that military parade, first of all, the reason why I say I was appalled, military is celebrating 250 years. And there was a lot of conflict, a lot of controversy behind what happened this past weekend. I didn't agree with it whatsoever. I have no problem with military parades, but not to the shape and form that this one took. If you notice that when the parade first started, you had the military band and everyone was marching in step. Why? Because the band was playing, and we know when that left foot hits the ground to the beat, when to have our left foot hit the ground to the beat of the military band. But if you notice when the troops were marching, when the band was not around, and I got a big kick out of this, they gave the ultimate thumbs down. And I'm 100% in agreement with it. They knew what they were doing. Matter of fact, if I was the sergeant first class or master sergeant out there and I was guiding my troops in parade formation like that, I probably would have told them to do the same thing. Just march any way you want to. Pretend like there's no beat. And that's exactly what these guys did. They were being used. They were being used. It took away from what 250 years of Army really meant, for them to be forced to do what they did because of politics. And Lord knows I'm trying to say this as discreetly as I possibly can. I hope I'm doing pretty good so far. There was one section, one clip of the video that really had me rolling. And it was when the two old tanks were passing by the podium. And it was so quiet there, you can actually hear the tracks screeching on the tanks to show you how quiet it was. This has got to stop. This is total nonsense. When is it going to stop? Let me off this ride. I've had enough of it. But anyhow, For those of you who did understand what the troops were doing, if your prior service, regardless as to what branch you were in, you knew exactly what these guys were doing. And what are they going to do? Give them all Article 15s? That's a lot of folks to be giving Article 15s to. They showed up like they were supposed to. They just didn't march the way they were taught to. And I don't want to say in somewhat protest, but I got the feeling everybody didn't get the memo as far as marching. That was hilarious. So I have to admit that was hilarious. That was the ultimate payback. But I'm going to show a couple of clips, and I know you've probably already seen a lot of this. How can you use all of those? How can you use the entire military army for political gain like this when we're celebrating our 250th birthday? And how do you think those guys and ladies felt knowing that they were being used for political gain? For those of you that just flat out don't understand or don't want to understand, then you are the ones with the problems. Those guys had to be uprooted, load up all that equipment, ship it to one location, which was in Washington, miss out on Father's Day, miss out on their families. For what reason? That's why I initially said I was appalled. When is this going to end, folks? Or is it going to end? I hope I call them the 51 percenters. I hope and pray that they come around and realize what they have done. My mind tells me that'll never happen, but I have to stay encouraged one way or another, because if not, I'll probably be going insane like all the rest of us now, seeing as to how things are going. I'm not going to talk you to death, because I can go on and on and on about this nonsense, but I'm not going to do that. I'll let you see it for yourself, and like I said, you guys stay blessed. We're going to make it through this like we always do in this country. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look.
Gained the nickname Bayonet Division during their deployment to Korea in June of 1950. At Incheon Landing and during the liberation of Seoul, they were credited with plunging the bayonet into the heart of the enemy, with 13 members of the division receiving the Medal of Honor. The 7th enables and sustains the combat readiness of 2 Stryker Brigade combat teams and a Combat Aviation Brigade.
We don't take an oath to a country. We don't take an oath to a tribe. We don't take an oath to a religion. We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or a tyrant or a dictator. We don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution.
That is freaking cool, man. revolutionary.
The revolution, yeah.
Yes.
Look in the redcoats behind them.
Yes.
The loyalists, I guess we would call them.
The loyalists. Oh, you got the wigs?
Wow. Look at that. That is cool. The white hair? Oh no. It looks like someone dropped the knife. Hey, if you drop something, you can just leave it. Somebody will pick it up.
In the world.
That is freaking cool, man.
Their deployment to Korea and into the heart of the igloos and sustains.
In Marine Corps boot camp, we spent time every single day perfecting our march. After 3 months of boot camp, we could march in perfect unison, perfect precision. You could hear the rhythm of our boot heels. No one was out of step. Now, this is the Army, it's not the Marine Corps, and in simpler times I would have just poked fun at them and said, yeah, you're not as good at this. However, that's not what's going on here. This is not incompetence. This is not our Army not, training well enough. I believe this is a deliberate act of defiance. Those soldiers know how to march. They can march in perfect unison. They can do it with pride. They can do it perfectly and beautifully if they wanted to. But they're not allowed to refuse to be there. They're not allowed to refuse not to show up. So this is their open act of defiance. And I think it's beautiful.
Bayonet Division during their deployment to Korea and into the heart of the igloos and sustains.